Welcome back to another Cool Tool Show and Tell. Today my guest is Becky Stern. Becky is a product manager with Instructables, one of the coolest, most awesome online communities for learning how to make stuff. She has published hundreds of tutorials on how to do everything from knit to work with microcontrollers. Becky lives in Brooklyn, New York, where she's joining me today. Becky, thanks for being here.
My pleasure. Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, you bet. You've got a tool to show us. What are you going to show us?
I want to show you my Hobby Creek helping third hand tool because I've been using it recently and it's a very cool tool. You know how when you get like the helping third hand, you used to get at RadioShack, now you get it from wherever, the $5 one?
Yeah, I know the exact one you're talking about. Like the
there's nothing in between the absolute garbage of the $5 one and the absolute Cadillac of the $35 one. And so that's why I recommend people use this unless they want to do like some mods to their cheapo one, like with a lot of extra heat shrink tubing. You know how this one has heat shrink already on the grippers so that they not only are they not electrically conductive, then they are also like a bit of a softer grab with more traction.
Yeah.
And they have the stability, like the whole thing doesn't come apart, although these arms are configurable, so you could move them around. You can also bolt the whole thing to your desk so that it doesn't go anywhere. And then it has this nice milled aluminum base where you can
nice
put
little catch trays for being able to catch any components that you're working with. Yeah.
Yeah, or like you're soldering a bunch of LEDs, you can put all of the ones, sorted by color. You have two different bays, so you can prep your parts that way. And I have a Panavice, which I use and I like, but I'm not doing boards exclusively all the time. So it's the versatility, like this stays on my desk all the time and I can do a board just fine with 2 or 3 points of contact. It's like really, really stable for soldering. But I find that I get it, like I have it out all the time. I don't have my Panavice out all the time. So if I'm going to leave one tool on my desk, like this one stays there.
And it looks like it's pretty lightweight, too. Is it like an aluminum base? Yeah,
the base is aluminum. It's pretty chunky, but overall it's not a heavy tool. Like if I were going to do a workshop or something, I would probably bring it with me. They have a smaller version, too, that's like a smaller base. It's maybe like half the size here, and then it only has 2 arms. We have some of those at the computer lab in the grad program where I teach at SVA, and the students really like those, too.
And do you ever take the arms off to like kind of flat pack it down at all, or do they just kind of crunch down pretty easily?
They do crunch down. I don't take them off, although they're not that hard to take off. I keep it on my jewelry making bench, which has like an upper shelf, and I kind of just like flatten it like this so that it fits, and then I slide it in so it like fits under in this pretty small crawl space. And then sometimes I just pull 2 arms out at once to work on and then leave the other 2 behind and pull the whole thing out if I'm working on something big. So it's definitely a permanent part of my workbench, and I use it for not just electronics. Sometimes when I'm shooting like embroidery tutorials or trying to get a certain craft that is mostly held in your hands stable for a time lapse, for instance, you can like hook up the embroidery hoop in this rig and then it stays put for the camera, which I know is rather a specialized use case, but for jewelry too, you can use it for jewelry stuff.
Yeah, I have seen that you were going to talk about that one. I have this kind of specialty one. I don't even know why I'm going to show it because I think the company that makes it no longer makes it, but it was a company called Raptor Lock here in the Bay Area, but it's the same principle. And as soon as I upgraded from that iron base, like giant heavy magnifying glass POS that a lot of people have, and upgraded to this same style, it really did change things for me. It's something I reach for every time I need to solder something up.
I don't get the little cheapo one out very often, but I do recommend if all you can afford is the cheapo one, you just need to like take the little grabber arms off of their posts, put some heat shrink over the posts, put them back on and like crimp them super tight because they fall apart. Take the magnifying glass and throw it away, or use it for a different project. Because it's causes the whole thing to be too top heavy, and put some rubber feet on the bottom so it doesn't scratch up your desk.
All right, it's a great tip, Becky. Thank you so much. That's and for like $35, Hobby Creek, I think it's such an affordable upgrade for people who are working with electronics, or like you're saying, working with jewelry, anything you want to hold steady, right?
fish flies, I think, are the other big market. It's like fly fishermen.
Well, yeah, and this one that I got, the guy who made them, he made them specifically for like the RC car modeling community, and they have all these different attachments for holding your RC car in place while you're working on it. So they're versatile.
Everybody makes small stuff. Yep.
Becky, another great tip. Thank you for this tool recommendation, and you can find all the details down here in the show notes and all the information about Becky Stern, and you can find thousands of reader recommended tools like these at cool-tools.org.